I wasn't supposed to end up in Sapporo. The plan was to head south to Tokyo, Kyoto, maybe Osaka, and hit up some haunted ryokans along the way. My channel, Becca After Dark, had been blowing up thanks to a viral short I did on the elevator game. Subscribers wanted more cursed hotels, more legends that felt too specific to be fiction. So when a friend DM'd me a Japanese app called Eurostay and told me, "This one's not on Google Maps, search for Hotel Yume, 3rd floor." That's all I'll say. I listened. I don't know why. The app was janky, early 2000s aesthetic, no English option. The listing had a single blurry photo, a dull, beige building with a neon sign that flickered. Me. The location pin was vague, just somewhere in the outskirts of Sapporo, near a closed train line. But the room was dirt cheap, like, suspiciously cheap, and something about it. I booked it. When I arrived, the snow had just started falling. It was early evening, the sky bruised purple, and the cab driver didn't want to get too close. He dropped me off a block away. Hotel Yume looked like it had been built in the 80s and never updated, not even to hide how badly it was aging. The lobby lights were on, but there was no front desk, just a touchscreen check-in machine humming beside a locked cabinet of keys. When I entered my reservation number, the screen flickered just once and then said, "Room 303 floor, 3 elevator. Left side, do not switch rooms." The elevator groaned like it hadn't moved in years. The lights flickered overhead, and every floor button was sticky. When I pressed 3, the light didn't even turn on, but the elevator moved. When I got out, I noticed something strange right away. The hallway to the 3rd floor was carpeted in red, while the 1st floor had white tile. And the air, it was damp, not humid. Damp, like the hallway itself had been. Weeping. Room 303 was the last door on the right. The door was slightly ajar. I paused, half expecting someone to jump out, but no. It was just open, as if it had been waiting. The room looked normal, sort of. Twin bed, mini fridge, lamp with a broken shade. The wallpaper was a faded peach color, wrinkled in places like old skin. The window overlooked an alley blocked by a crumbling wall. No view, no sun. I stepped inside, and the door clicked shut behind me. Not slammed, not forced. It just clicked. I set up my camera right away, trying to shake off the unease. "Okay, team," I whispered into my mic. "Hotel Yume, room 303, rumored to be a no-return zone. Let's see what's real." But my camera kept freezing. The lens flicked in and out of focus like it couldn't decide what it was seeing. I checked my phone. No signal. Not even WI-V. Hours passed. I explored the room. Found nothing in the drawers, no Bible, no notepad. Just a single folded towel and one pair of disposable slippers, both slightly damp. Then I noticed the walls. At first, it was a smell, mold, faint but undeniable. I ran my fingers along the wallpaper near the headboard, and my skin came back wet. Not soaked, not sticky, just moist. Like the wall was breathing. I leaned in, pressing my ear gently against the wallpaper. I didn't hear plumbing, or footsteps, or a hum from the next room. I heard whispers, not words, not even in a language I knew, but they felt rhythmic, repetitive, like chanting behind a thick veil. My chest tightened. My breath grew shallow. I turned the camera on again, and then it started working perfectly. I sat on the bed, recording a segment for my audience. "Okay guys, this is seriously weird. The walls are damp. There's whispering. I've stayed in creepy places before, but this feels like it's watching me." Just as I said that, the light bulb in the corner lamp flickered out. Not popped, not sparked. It just died. Darkness crawled into the room, except for the faint blue glow from my camera's screen. I was about to turn it off when I saw something on the playback monitor. Me. But in the frame, I wasn't sitting on the bed. I was standing, facing the wall. Still. I looked behind me. No one. I waved a hand in front of the camera. My real-time self appeared. As expected, I rewound the footage. It was me. Just for a second, no more than 5 frames. I stood silently facing the wall. Then I blinked and it was gone. No glitch, no timestamp, no proof. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even lie down. I sat in the corner of the room, Camera still rolling. Back to the wall that felt most dry. By 3:17 a.m., the whispering had grown louder, and I started to recognize a pattern. One line repeated again and again, rising with each breath of the wall. You are not the first. Asterisk by sunrise. I was still in the corner, knees to chest, back flat against the wall. The whispering hadn't stopped. It just got quieter, more personal, like someone whispering directly into my skull. I didn't remember falling asleep, but I must have, because at some point, I woke up to the sound of dripping, not from the ceiling, from the walls. The wallpaper near the bed was soaked, sagging like wet fabric, discolored in red patches like blood diluted by rain. I stood up slowly. My limbs were stiff, my neck aching. I reached for my phone. Still no service. I checked the camera. Battery, 100%. Recording, yes, but the timestamp had frozen at 3:17 a.m. No matter how long it kept recording. The footage said it was still 3:17, the exact time the wall began repeating, "You are not the first." That line haunted me as I peeled back the corner of the wallpaper. Beneath the peach-colored surface was something else, a layer of crimson paint, cracked and pulsing ever so slightly, like dried blood trying to breathe again. And then I saw it, scratches deep into the paint, carved with fingernails or keys or something desperate. A series of names, some in kanji, some in Roman letters, dates too. Most of them ended in the same year, 1998. But near the bottom was one name, freshly scratched, ISAAC-2020 to Isaac. That name punched a memory into me. One of the few online comments I'd skimmed before booking the room. There was a Reddit thread on Backrooms Japan. One user claimed his brother disappeared in Hokkaido while backpacking. He'd messaged just once before vanishing. Room 303 is breathing. I hear myself whispering things I never said. His name? Isaac. Suddenly, the walls exhaled. No, seriously, I felt the pressure shift. Like a low wave of warm breath passed through the room. The mirror on the desk fogged up, and written in the fog, as if by an invisible fingertip, were the words, "Ask the drain." I stared at it, frozen. Then, as if on cue, I heard it. A faint, watery voice gurgling from the bathroom sink. I walked slowly, heart pounding in my throat. The sink looked normal, old with rust around the edges and a cracked ceramic bowl. But the drain was black, to black, like it led somewhere deeper than plumbing. I leaned in just a bit and listened, and I swear to God, I heard my own voice, whispering something I couldn't make out. But it was me, same rhythm, same breath, same inflection. It felt like déjà vu mixed with vertigo. And then, without warning, water exploded upward. Dark, murky, foul-smelling water soaked my shirt, splashed into my eyes. I stumbled back, coughing, slipping on the tile. When I looked again, the sink was empty. Dry. The mirror above the sink wasn't fogged anymore, but there was something behind the glass. Not my reflection, a second reflection, slightly delayed, slightly off. It didn't blink when I did, didn't breathe. And then, slowly, it leaned in closer to the mirror, even though I wasn't moving. I grabbed the camera and started recording again. "Okay," I whispered, shaking. "It's not just haunted. Something is mimicking me, trying to overwrite me. This isn't like anything I've knocked out the door. 3 slow knocks. I froze. I hadn't ordered food. No one knew I was here. The peephole was missing. I stood there, holding my breath. Seconds passed, then minutes. No voice, no footsteps walking away. Just the sound of breathing outside the door. Inhale, exhale. Right in sync with the walls. Eventually, I worked up the nerve to slide the chain and open the door an inch. Nobody there. Just the empty hallway, still damp, still red carpeted. But now the air felt thicker, more humid, and at the far end of the hallway, something was different. There was a new door. It wasn't there before. It looked older than the others. Made of wood, painted black, with no room number, just a single kanji burned into it, Yume. Dream. And underneath that, in smeared red paint, staff only. I should have left. I should have packed and forced my way out, walked through snow and called for help. But something about that door, it was like it had been waiting for me, too. I walked toward it, camera in hand, and as I approached, I realized the hallway wasn't straight anymore. It was slightly sloped, like I was walking down into something, and the walls, they were getting redder. I reached out to touch the black door, half expecting it to be cold, but it was warm. Alive. I pressed my ear to it, hoping for silence. Instead, I heard something I will never forget. A voice, my own voice, whispering, "She's almost ready. Just a few more uploads." I didn't open the black door right away. Instead, I stared at it, hands still hovering over the handle, while that voice on the other side, my voice, whispered things I never said. "She's almost ready. Just a few more uploads. You are part of it now." Part of what? My hand was trembling. My skin felt too tight. Then, something inside me snapped. Maybe it was panic. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was suggestion. I turned the handle, and the door opened. What was behind? It wasn't a room. It was a space that shouldn't exist. The hallway stretched forward, too long to fit inside this building. Walls made of exposed red brick, pulsating gently like lungs. Dim light flickered from fixtures that looked more like veins than bulbs. I stepped inside. Behind me, the door closed on its own. I didn't hear a slam. I heard a sigh. And then nothing. No. Turning back, I walked. The deeper I went, the more unreal the space felt. There were no windows, no sound except the faint squelch of my footsteps on the wet floor. About 30 paces in, I saw a mirror. Not mounted, just leaning against the wall, massive, cracked across the center. In it, I saw myself, but not exactly. My reflection was smiling, and then it raised the camera to its face. Before I did, I staggered back. My stomach churned. I pointed my camera at the mirror. The reflection was gone. Only the hallway remained in the frame. I ran. No direction, just forward. The hallway twisted, sloped downward, became narrower. At some point, I noticed the walls were now papered, like the hotel, but aged, curling, soaked through. I came to a door, a normal one, beige wooden, just like room 303, except this one had no handle, just a slot at the bottom, like a mail slot, leaking red water. And above it, scratched into the door, "Watch yourself." I dropped to my knees, hands shaking, and peeked through the slot. Inside was a room identical to mine, that same layout, same furniture, except on the bed sat me, eyes glazed, lips moving silently. I was watching something on a laptop. I couldn't see the screen, but I heard audio leaking out of the room, my voice, saying things I had never said. I watched, horrified, as the other me slowly turned her head and looked directly at the slot. I fell back, heart slamming against my ribs. The slot dripped faster. I stumbled away from the door, gasping, and noticed something new. On the floor beneath my feet, a trapdoor, metal, rusted, unlabeled. I opened it. A ladder descended into darkness, the air rushing up like a reverse breath, cold, stale, ancient. I should have gone back. I should have screamed, trashed the place, called the embassy, whatever. But some part of me whispered, "There's no going back until you see what's below." So I climbed down. At the bottom, another room. Small, windowless, walls painted black, but peeling. A single CRT television sat in the corner, screen static, hooked up to a VCR. Beside it, a stack of labeled tapes, each one marked with a date and a name. K. Tanaka, 1998. H. Suzuki, 2004. Isaac -2022. And at the very top, Becca, live. I stared at it. I hadn't recorded anything in this room. I hadn't even been here. But the TV screen flickered, and I saw myself, sitting, in room 303, saying the words, "You're part of it now. Just a few more uploads." The same line I heard behind the black door. I reached out to touch the screen, and the second my finger grazed it, the TV snapped off. The room fell into darkness, and I heard movement behind me. Soft footsteps, wet breathing, then a whisper closer, than anything before. "She's awake." I turned. No one was there. Just the stack of tapes. Except now, mine was missing. The top tape said, "You." The VCR clicked. The TV turned itself on. And there I was again. But this time, I wasn't in room 303. I was in this very room. Watching myself, watching myself. Watching the screen melted into static. I grabbed the camera, heart thundering, and climbed back up the ladder, fast, scraping my knees. When I pushed open the trapdoor, I was back in room 303. Same bed, same peach wallpaper, except the bed was made. Lights on, air fresh, walls dry. The window showed morning light, and my phone buzzed. One new message, unknown number, no name. It read, "Great episode. Love how real it feels. Can't wait for the next upload." Becca asterisk. The message sat on my screen like it had teeth. "Great episode. Love how real it feels. Can't wait for the next upload." Becca, I didn't write it, but it was sent from my number. Worse, my phone had no bars, no Wi-Fi, and hadn't connected to anything since I checked into Hotel Yume. The timestamp said 3:17 a.m. Again. The same time the whispers began. The same time the footage froze. The time that kept haunting every loop, every tape, every lie. I wanted to scream, but when I opened my mouth, all that came out was static, not sound static. Like my voice had been replaced with white noise. I ran to the mirror in the bathroom. The reflection didn't match my movements. She tilted her head left while I went right. She blinked before I did. And then she smiled. My reflection raised her hand and tapped on the glass from the inside. I stepped back. My hands were shaking, my breath shallow. I grabbed my camera still running and pointed it at the mirror. Nothing strange, just me, as expected. But when I played the footage back, it wasn't me holding the camera. It was her. Same face, same clothes, but the look in her eyes, that wasn't fear, that was ownership. I started pacing, trying to think logically. Was this a dream? A breakdown? Some elaborate arg? I reached for the doorknob to leave, but the second I touched it, the door pulsed under my hand like a heartbeat. The handle twisted on its own. The door didn't open. It peeled. The wood warped, folding back like skin, revealing something behind it. Not a hallway, not the hotel, a room full of screens. Hundreds of CRT monitors, stacked wall to ceiling, humming with that analog buzz. And every screen showed me different versions, some asleep, some filming, some screaming, some looking directly into the camera with dead, hollow smiles. I stepped inside. The floor squished beneath my feet, soft and moist like carpet soaked in old blood. In the center of the room stood a chair, and sitting in that chair was a girl, hair soaked, head tilted, mouth slightly open like she was humming something. In her hands, a remote. She didn't look up as I approached, but the screens around her shifted, one by one. They started displaying the same feed. Room 303. Current angle. Me, standing there watching myself. She pressed a button on the remote. Click. And suddenly, I was watching a video I had never filmed. My face, my voice, saying things I never said. Talking about how I'd found the mirror dimension, how I'd escaped the cycle, how you could too if you subscribed and liked the channel. It sounded real. Convincing. Even to me. The girl turned her head, just enough for me to see her face in profile. It was my face, but melted, warped, like wax left near fire too long. She opened her mouth, and the voice that came out wasn't mine. It was a chorus, hundreds of voices layered together, male, female, old, young, all, whispering in unison. You're not being watched, you're being replaced. Suddenly the walls began to close in. The screens glitched, then went black, one by one. The only one left glowing showed my YouTube channel homepage. But all the videos were different. The thumbnails were off, the titles, things I never uploaded. We shouldn't have gone to Hotel Yume, final footage 3:17 a.m. The last transmission, Becca's goodbye stream, Mirapov. Each one had tens of thousands of views, thousands of comments, all recent. And they all said the same thing. She's better now. This version is more real. When's the next one? I turned away, ready to scream, but found myself back in room 303, exactly as I'd left it. Same bed, same mirror, same breathing walls. Except the camera was already set up, recording, and I was sitting on the bed. I wasn't moving, just staring at the screen, frozen in place. I blinked. So did she. I opened my mouth. She mouthed the same words. You were always here. I lunged for the door, but it wouldn't open. The window showed static. Not a landscape, not a street. Just television static, pulsing with a low-frequency hum that made my teeth ache. I smashed my fist against the wall. The wallpaper peeled on impact, revealing something underneath, a handprint, not painted, pressed into the drywall, as if someone had been trapped inside. Next to it, etched into the concrete, upload complete, next, viewer sync, room 304, primed. I turned to the mirror. She was still there. Still watching. And now, she was smiling with my teeth. Then she leaned close and whispered from inside the glass, "Don't worry, you'll get to watch too. Just not from this side." I don't remember falling asleep, but I must have, because when I opened my eyes, it was night again. Room 303 was bathed in a dull red light, like the walls had begun to glow from the inside out. And the mirror, it was gone. In its place, a camera, old analog, mounted directly to the wall. Its red recording light blinked like a heartbeat. I walked toward it, slowly, unsteady, like something inside me wasn't calibrated anymore. Then I noticed it. The walls were breathing in rhythm with the red light. My phone buzzed. No service. Number notifications, just a pop-up I'd never seen before. Live stream ready. Begin transmission. Yes, why yes, there was no. Just 2 yeses. I tapped the top one. I don't know why. Maybe I thought this was the way out. Maybe I thought if I told the truth, someone watching would come find me. Instead, the room dimmed further. And then I heard it, that voice again. My voice. Only now, it was coming from inside the walls. "Hey guys, Becca here. So, something's happened. Something real. I don't know where I am anymore, but I think I'm still streaming." I staggered backward. The voice continued, "You've all been part of this from the beginning. Every view, every comment, it fed the loop. It built room 303. The air turned thick. The wallpaper curled and cracked, revealing monitors beneath it, embedded in the wall. Watching me, every monitor showed the same stream. My stream. And the view count. Live viewers, 31,472. Comments poured in. "Is this real? This feels too perfect." I swear she blinked out of sync. Wait, wasn't she wearing a different shirt last video? I looked down. I didn't remember changing clothes, but I was now wearing the same thing my reflection wore in the mirror room. I tried to unplug the wall camera. The moment I touched it, the screen in the corner changed. It showed a graveyard, snow falling, a headstone, zoomed in slowly. My name, carved beneath it. B. Owens, 1995 to 2023, last seen checking into Hotel Yume. Below that, content never dies. Suddenly, the floor began to shift beneath me, tiles falling away to reveal a swirling darkness below, like an abyss trying to remember how to be real. From the walls came voices, familiar voices, commenters, viewers, hundreds, thousands, layered into a terrible chorus. I liked this version better. She was more authentic before. "Bring back the glitch girl. Algorithm says keep her." And then, silence. The camera clicked. The monitors flickered once more. And I heard one final message. "You are now permanent content." The world bent. My skin felt like pixels unraveling. Everything that was me, thoughts, memories, fears, regrets, was being copied, burned, reformatted into a loop. A character, a series, a feed. When I opened my eyes, I was sitting on the bed. Room 303 looked brand new. The walls no longer breathed. The mirror was back. I looked into it and she smiled. Same smile as always. A knock at the door. Just one. Soft, almost polite. Then a voice. "Hey, is this room 303? I turned toward the peephole. It was back. A girl stood outside. Young, backpack, vlogging rig in hand. Wide-eyed, curious, like I used to be. I opened the door slowly. She smiled. "Hey, this is weird, but the check-in kiosk said this was my room, 303. I stepped aside. Wordless. She walked in, wheeling her suitcase, camera already filming. She looked around and laughed nervously. "It's creepier than I expected. God, I hope the walls don't start breathing or something, right?" I didn't answer. I simply watched her unpack, watched her test her mic, fix her hair, prepare to speak. And then she said it. "Hey guys, it's Ria with Ghostbite Japan. And I'm spending the night in a hotel that apparently doesn't exist on any map, I smiled, and closed the door behind her. The live stream had already started.